Hello, it's Wednesday night. It's about 9:10, which must mean it's time for another fantastic episode of ESC Fan TV. We are here with what is our final show before the big event launches next week. The excitement is palpable. Okay, don't forget, during Eurovision week, you can listen to any of our past shows on Spotify, on iTunes, on TuneIn, and Stitcher. That's Stitcher, not Snitcher. Okay, and you can also catch up with us on YouTube as well. We will be the ideal companion for you to listen as you walk around, absorbing the Eurovision excitement. Now, this evening, I've got a fantastic panel of guests waiting to give their views. Tonight, we are going to be looking at the rehearsals of semi-final 2. Well, then we've got 5 exciting duels for you as well. But first of all, I'd like to say a really big hello to my panel. First of all, very good evening. Unfortunately, I can't stitch you up this week because, you've got no scoreboard to run. But good evening, Stuart.
Good evening, Tom. It's actually quite a pleasure not to have to do scoreboard anymore. That was 3 weeks of hell.
3 weeks of hell? Oh, come on. I'm sure we can find something for you to score.
Done with that. Let's move on.
We've got the duels to do yet. Scoreboard technology for that is top notch, mate. Right. Also, I'd like to introduce and say a very big hello to Martin.
Hello, everyone. Again, for the last time before head out to Tel Aviv in 2 days.
There's another one. Some of us are going to be stuck here, and it's going to be raining. I can tell you that now.
You're going to enjoy Manchester, though, aren't you?
As I said, it's going to be raining.
Oh, yes.
So, also, I'd like to say a big hello to Lou as well, who joins us.
Hello, thank you for having me again.
And a massive hello to Joe.
Hello, and I hate everyone that's gone to Tel Aviv, you horrible person, Martin.
Well, that's the trouble, isn't it? They are just, too lucky, too cool for school. And also a very big hello to Elliot.
Hello, hi. And just remember, Tom, it's quite cheap for drinks up north, so at least there's that. Your wallet won't be hurting as much as them in Tel Aviv.
Oh, do you know what? I think you just swayed me. Inside me, there is a Yorkshireman, just waiting to get out. Yes, in other words, that means being slightly tight. So, anyway, we move on. Across Monday and Tuesday, the artists involved in semi-final 2 were rehearsing, which means we saw everyone from Sweden to Norway to Russia. Let's be honest, guys. What did we think? Is semi-final 2 living up to its reputation? Let's go straight in with Elliot.
I think the second half is. I'm not sure. Like a lot of changed their staging from what also I was taking inspiration from the music videos. It seems very what's the word? I'm trying to think now. It seems like a lot of people seem to be trying and bringing out different ideas. Some have hit the mark, some have completely missed it. I feel like, and I think it's gonna be an interesting show at least. I think because there's some very bizarre and very unique things going on. It looks like from wings to robot arms to God knows what else.
Oh, wings are always a winner. So they can fly on the wings of love. Yeah? No? Okay. Let's bring Martin in on this. We're talking about the uniqueness of this. What did you reckon the most unique rehearsal has been so far for semi-final 2?
Oh, that's difficult. I was going to say actually one of the ones that stood out for me from what I've seen was the least unique in a way was, and as long as you ignore the mirrors, was Tamara from North Macedonia, just purely because of her voice and the power and the fact she's on her own. And in a way, I don't know if they'll keep the mirrors behind her, but that stood out because it didn't really do a huge amount of uniqueness. Obviously, you got the robots, which are now gone from the little ones that San Marino had last year. Now robot arms, we have a whole factory next year with somebody. But obviously, I suppose another one that was fairly sort of basic in what it was doing was Duncan Lawrence, which is he going to stay behind the piano or not? But that was fairly basic, and that seemed to work pretty well as well.
Okay, so out of all the rehearsals then, Lou, what's the one that you're bigging up the most?
You see, when life brings me trouble, this I know. I love Malta. I just think, like, everybody is sleeping on Malta. Like, everybody, not to quote Elliot, but wake up. Like, Malta's staging, yes, Elliot agrees with me, Malta's staging looks so good. Like, they've translated the colour and the vibrancy and the energy from the music video. Michaela's moving well, which is what a lot of people were worried about. And like, I am just so excited. Like, I honestly think top 5 easy for Malta. I'm definitely voting for them from Ireland anyway, because I just love it. So good, such a bop, such a tune. Go, Michaela.
Speaking of Ireland, though, Lou, what about Ireland's rehearsal?
If I'm honest, just from my observation on Twitter anyway, that's where I would be most active with interacting with fans. And it got mixed reactions. There was some really positive reactions and then some kind of meh. And not to be unpatriotic, but I was kind of in the meh camp. I can see what they're trying to do with it, and I appreciate the effort and the fact they're trying to do something different. I'm glad she wasn't just stuck out on the stage by herself. But I don't know. I just find the pop art a little bit tacky, and I don't think there's any need for it. And I think because there was rumours swirling around about there being staging involved with the door and kind of a journey going on, I was hoping for something more along those lines. I don't think we're a definite non-qualifier, but I think if we were fortunate enough to qualify, it would be like scraping 9th, 10th place at the very best. So,
Well, I mean, let's bring the panel in on this, because some of us are going to be in the UK and able to vote for Ireland come
please go for us.
Thursday.
Please.
I mean, let's say a big hello to Ness, who's joined us. Good evening, Ness. Oh, you've muted yourself, Ness.
I'll unmute. Sorry.
There we go. I mean, Ireland's rehearsal. What are we thinking when it comes to Ireland?
Oh, she's a lovely wee young lass, isn't she?
Are you going to be picking up your phone and voting for her?
Yeah, I probably will actually, because it's the nearest to a UK vote I can do, really, isn't it?
It is. It is true.
I don't know. Maybe it's Ireland's time again.
It's not. It's really not.
How dare you?
You're under 25.
How dare you?
It's dreadful. Let's be honest. Sorry, Lou.
Okay, I won't speak then, because I find it in my top 10. I genuinely love the song. I loved Ryan O'Shaughnessy's song last year. I just don't get this at all. She's a great singer, don't get me wrong, but the song is not doing it for me one little bit.
Now, Stuart, speaking of favourites and things, Austria obviously have had their first rehearsal now as well. Panda with the song Limits. What are we thinking? Is she going to be cruising her way into the final? There were some very good reactions to that on social media this week.
Yeah, I think Austria is one of the ones to watch out for. She's probably got one of the better ballads, I would say. Kind of neck and neck with the Netherlands right now, based on the two rehearsals that I've seen. And yeah, I mean, Panda's got a great voice. Album is excellent, by the way. Evolution 2. Go and make sure you buy it or download it or whatever the kids do these days. It's really, really excellent. And yeah, Austria did well last year, didn't they? With Cesar Salad. Let's hope and pray that Panda can do it for the second year running.
This is true. I think. Was anyone more shocked than Austria when they ended up at the top of the jury vote last year?
Me.
Yeah, everyone in the entire audience.
And me at home going, what the hell is going on?
Totally and utterly,
It was deserved. And do you know why it was deserved? Because a year later, Sweden and the UK have decided to send exactly the same act.
This is
It
true.
must have worked.
Very true. Speaking of the giant stapler, it has made a comeback. Some people may recognise it from Sakis Rivas. This is our night. It's now going behind John Ludwig for the Swedish rehearsal. I mean, Joe, what did we make of Sweden's rehearsal?
Oh, I love Sweden. I love those backing girls. I really do, or ladies, should I say? But there's just something about them that they got a lot of. They have fun out there. You know, John has fun with them. You can tell they're enjoying it. They're bringing the gospel element, the gospel choir into Eurovision, and I have to say, I think it's going to get better. Not bigger, maybe, but it's going to get better and better. It really is.
Bigger.
I've got so much confidence. Yeah.
Bigger.
Bigger.
Is it bigger than us, Stuart?
Bigger. It's bigger than us.
This is
Definitely.
bigger.
Bigger.
I feel a running thing coming on. I just want to pick up on some more of these rehearsals. Obviously, two of the big talking points in this room, two of the countries we've actually talked a lot about. I'm going to come to Martin first of all for this. Norway have had their rehearsal now. Kino, Spirit in the Sky. Was it something? I mean, it's had some flack on social media, and quite unfairly, I think, in some ways, the way in which it's a bit disjointed. But is this something that you see actually doing better than they're suggesting?
Well, apparently, according to interviews with Kino and people from Kino, apparently there's stuff to see, or more stuff coming for the second rehearsal. So not everything we have seen, apparently. It probably wasn't amazing staging, because it seemed as though it's sort of like very basic computer graphics behind them and just lots of pyros and them dressed differently without the drummers, without the flags. But it sounds though we're going to have to wait and see until the next rehearsal to see if there's anything different or anything new, which there could be. So we don't know. I mean, at the moment, I probably wouldn't. I'd still see it sailing into the final, but I wouldn't see it doing much, just based on that staging, compared to other staging.
I'm thinking of countries maybe doing something a bit extra. What did we make of Duncan Lawrence's rehearsal? Very simple, sat by a piano.
Yeah, it's whether he needs to sit behind the piano. I mean, obviously, that's how he's done it in the past when we've seen previous footage of him, like the footage of him singing Arcade that 2 years ago, and that only was seen by 50 people on YouTube. He was doing that behind the piano. So whether they're just seeing how it looks, him sitting down, and whether he might change and be standing up as he was at London Eurovision Party and that sort of thing, I think that maybe that'd be more of an impact with him standing up and singing rather than being hidden behind the piano.
Okay, just want to run down the panel and see who we think the winners and losers are out of our semi-final 2 rehearsals. Obviously, we've discussed some of the favourites there. There are many countries we haven't talked about. Obviously, there are 18 countries there. If we went through all of them, we would be here all evening. And I know Stuart is avidly awaiting a football match result. So we don't want that to happen. Let's start off with Elliot. Winners and losers, semi-final 2.
Winner definitely is Malta, because they've done what the stage director Aline Reen did. They've made the stage smaller. You don't see behind that big screen to the last chorus, so it brings you in, so you're forced to watch it. And I think it's going to work brilliantly because of the colours, and it's washing them over them. The biggest loser for me is Armenia. The stage is empty. She's singing, walking out. She's talking about someone. There is no one there. And I hope there's something on the screen or something else is going to happen, because it just looks very dull at the minute. And Armenia are now teetering on the edge of not qualification. It just looks boring. So that's my biggest loser.
Okay. Joe, winners and losers, semi-final 2.
I don't think there were any losers at all, because I thought the vocals, everyone's vocals was spot on. I didn't hear enough notes, if I'm really honest. Winners for me, Azerbaijan, I reckon, and probably Sweden as well, because I think they just prove that you know, they've got it. They've got what it takes and to sail through. No matter what they put in, if they put the kitchen sink in, I still think they go through. So yeah.
It is very. I think the thing with Sweden, and we've got to bear in mind, is that they've won the contest 2 years in the past, 6.
Yeah.
So they are always one to look out for. Just as the 1990s was very much the Irish decade, this one definitely seems to be the Swedish one. Speaking of Irish, see, nice interjection there. We move across to Lou. Who are the winners and losers for you?
Winners: Malta, Sweden, Russia. Loser, I think poor old Lithuania is just swallowed up in between Malta and Russia. Latvia as well. I actually kind of forgot Latvia were in the semi, to be honest with you. So yeah, those Baltic countries might struggle.
Okay, and Martin?
I mean, the probably improvers and ones that there's a lot that actually stayed much the same as the national finals for me. I was impressed with Tamara from North Macedonia. I think as long as she does some of those mirrors, then that could be a standout just for how simple it is. Let's see. I mean, Russia was a bit, I don't know, messy, but that might make more sense when we see more of it. And in fact, Romania, I think, because she's a damn good actress, Esther Pini, and I think that she really, from what I've seen, really acted it well. And it's more like her semi-final rather than her final performance in Romania. And I think that she's pushed herself back into getting Romania back into the final again.
Interesting, because obviously her selection we know was controversial anyway. So it's, I think in actual fact, it's probably a good move for her to actually go back more towards that semi-final performance, because I think that's where her strength was. Let's move across to Ness. Obviously, we know about Ness and the lovely John Ludwig.
I just had my hair done tonight for him. No, I didn't. Quite frankly, John could stand on stage in a large dustbin sack and he would still win. Yeah, it's that basic. So it's Sweden winning for me.
Is that you wanted to sack him off, Ness?
No, I'm not that sort of guy. So, oh God, I can't concentrate. So yeah, I agree with who's our lovely friend from Ireland that I've not met yet. What's your name? Sorry, I haven't been introduced. Lou. I think Armenia and possibly Latvia as well will be the losers. So yeah.
Let's go across to Stuart in the chat room. What's the chat room saying about semi-final 2, Stuart?
So agreed with Lou on Lithuania. Not so much running with the Lions, more like eaten by the Lions. Switzerland's a bit of a letdown. Armenia's boring. Song boring. Performance boring. That's what the chat room is saying. Lots of activity. It's a hive of activity in the chat room, Tom.
A hive of boring activity.
And what about you? Eaten by lions?
So 100% winner of semi-final 2 is the fantastic Kingis, and that's Kingis, not Genghis Khan, with the song Truth. I just think that song has blown everyone away. I know there are certain people on the panel who aren't keen on it, but I was singing along today on the way to work. I think it's a great song, and I really do think it'll do very, very well. Who's lost? Loser, wasn't it? Who's not doing so well? I agree with Elliot. Armenia, sadly. Armenia, she's walking away. No stay. No, that's Moldova. Definitely Armenia for me. Yeah, doesn't quite work.
Okay, my one to watch out of all of these, and is very, very swiftly becoming the one to watch, I think, for the whole contest, is North Macedonia. I found that to be a real earworm. I found that very much sort of like I'll be doing random stuff and all of a sudden a tune pops into my head, and very often it's Tamara's song Proud. And I think that could be one to watch. It's on 17th out of 18th on the night as well. The rehearsal looked very promising as well. I think that could, providing Duncan Lawrence doesn't overshadow it too much, I think that could actually do very well.
Or the robot arms following after her.
Yeah, we won't talk about them. It's fine. Stuart talked about that. Job done. Right, guys, I'll be ready for some duels.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I can't hear you. I'll be ready for some duels.
Yeah.
Yay.
Oh, I love this. Some Eurovision enthusiasm going on. Okay, so
Will you be using swords, Tom?
well, if you insist.
On guard.
But
Stealing not catching just
the first duel we have this evening is very, very simple. It's based on the rehearsals, and it is semi-final 1 or semi-final 2. What one's the best? We've seen the rehearsals. Based on what we've seen, what do we think the best one is going to be? And I'm going to go straight across to Martin because he's pulling one of those thinking faces.
I am one, I think. Overall, 2, but the best one was in 1. That was Australia. But
Yeah,
overall, I'd say
agreed.
2 was the best overall semi-final for rehearsals so far.
Okay. Are you sure Kate Miller-Heidke doesn't lift semi-final 1 slightly for you?
There's more. No, I'm having a quick look at who was in there now. And when you consider we've got people like Two Tone Legs and Sebastian from Finland and Demo and you think, oh God, so the first half of semi-final 1 at the moment, you're thinking, oh, blimey.
So much Montenegro hate. I can't deal with it.
I like
They
Montenegro.
look really nice.
Same.
They look really nice. They've all coordinated, but that's probably about it.
Montenegro is amazing.
Hey, we were all a big fan of S Club Juniors back in the day.
One step closer to heaven.
Can I just
Musical.
can I just
Too
check,
old for
Tom?
juniors.
Can I just check when you said did Kate Miller-Heidke lift semi-final 1? Was that a pun, or were you suggesting she could get any higher?
Oh no, I was trying to actually do a pun, but just, the fact that no one actually managed to pick up on
I
it.
picked up on it for you. There you go.
Oh, thank you, Stuart. In actual fact, Stuart, let's roll to you whilst the chat room are getting themselves into gear. What one do you think is the strongest this time round?
Semi-final 1 by an absolute country mile. Number of reasons. Tamta kicks the show off. We've got the fabulous Montenegro. We've got Serhat completing the semi-final, and in the middle of that, we've got a potential Eurovision winner in Australia this year. That's why semi-final 1 beats semi-final 2.
Oh, fighting talk. Oh, Elliot, let's come across to you.
Stuart, how much have you drank saying Australia or Azerbaijan can win? Like, sorry.
We'll see next Saturday evening. I guarantee I'll be correct.
I love Kate Miller-Heidke, and I love the fact she's wearing a ballroom dress with shoulder pads and a suit at the top. I think that's great. It's like an 80s woman going to a pageant ball. It's great. Semi-final 2 is a stronger by country mile. Sorry, semi-final 1 is like, oh, here's some pretty lights, here's some nice dust and all this other stuff on the backdrop. Semi-final 2, a lot of them actually brought their things, actually have concepts they thought about. Granted, one's ripped off a concept, but we'll get to that later. But there seems to be more thought than, oh, let's just stick something on the backdrop and see what happens. Like I said, you've got Tamta, who is just, using her sex appeal. Yeah, stripping like a drag queen and using a sex appeal, but it works for her. Go for it. You've got Demo, who, to be blunt, looked like a cult.
That was Cult, wasn't it?
Yes, cult in their matching
Not a cult.
outfits and just staring down the camera. It's a little bit terrifying. I'm not gonna lie. And Kate Miller-Heidke swinging on this pole, which is very impressive. Her core strength must be insane to do that. Like, I'm very jealous. And then it's just
It's truly excellent, Elliot.
It is, but to be honest, from semi-final 1, the only ones that stuck out for me that I can remember staging-wise are Australia and Greece.
I think Kate Miller-Heidke is basically on a metronome, a large metronome that's keeping the beat, so she knows when to come in for a cue, like that.
And semi-final 2, for me, it's just got the better staging, and there's just more concepts there. Ireland, they throw out of the box. They've got this 50s diner thing, which is very different. Azerbaijan have the arms. Kaina are probably doing something. Malta's got their little concept. Rocco has his wings. There's just a lot more to talk about in semi-final 2 visually than semi-final 1. And I think as an audience member watching it through a screen, that's what I want to see.
Don't forget the big chair.
Oh yeah,
And the big chair as well. Yeah, love is forever.
and she's got a ladder now as well.
Oh. So I'm assuming Elliot semi-final 2 all the way.
Oh, God, yeah.
Now,
I'm so glad I could vote in that semi.
someone whose view I'm very interested in when it comes to this duel, particularly as I do believe she only gave this gentleman 5 points last week. That's 5 points. Is Joe, because Victor Crone is in semi-final 1 with the song Storm.
Did I really only give him 5? I probably did, actually, didn't I?
I make notes.
At least it wasn't 1.
No. Yeah, the comments I got from that was amazing. Like, oh, you do love Victor. Yes, I do. If Victor was in semi 2, he may not qualify, so I want him in semi 1. But yeah, semi 2 is the best, I think. Yeah, only because Victor and Kate are the only two good ones really in semi 1 for me anyway. For me, visually and vocally, and the songs are definitely better in 2. Let's face it, we've got John and we've got Kino and we've got Azerbaijan, Kingis. So yeah, definitely 2.
Okay. Lou, let's just come across to you. What's the strongest semi-final?
I think I can find some middle ground between Stuart and Elliot, right?
This should be good.
Okay.
Be good.
So, Tom, your question is, what is stronger overall?
Yeah.
I would feel it is semi-final 2. I would agree with Elliot. However, I see Stuart's point. I think that second half of semi-final 1 is incredibly strong. So if we were talking about halves, I would probably say the second half of semi-final 1 is the strongest, because you've literally got, it's like 6 countries in a row, something like Australia, Iceland, Estonia, Portugal, Greece and San Marino, and I think they're all in with a really strong shot of qualifying and doing possibly quite well in the final. So, like what Elliot said, there's so much to talk about in semi 2. There is so much going on in almost every entry, but then that second half of semi-final 1 is just iconic.
Yeah, great.
Okay. Do you know what? Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of talking points out of that second half of semi-final 1. It may not have the overall viewer appeal, but at the same time, when you look at the Green Power Ranger from Portugal, when you look at when you look at Hatari and things that there are a lot of talking points there. Finally, let's just come across to Ness.
Yeah, somebody disconnected me. How rude! Who did that?
It wasn't me. You just left.
Can I
Google
say, I was
Hangouts.
chuckling that because when you froze, your picture was just brilliant. I don't know if anyone else picked that up, but go back and watch the video. Anyway, aside.
Yes. What's the
She's looking at me now. She wants to
view?
kill me. Move on quickly.
No, she's frozen again.
She's frozen again.
Oh,
It's not quite as bad. Not quite as good as the last one, actually.
oh no, she's unfrozen.
Oh no, it's even better now. Look.
Different face.
That
Real
should be
friends
Ness's,
here.
that's Ness's face for the thumbnail.
Ness, are you receiving us over?
I think we've lost her, Tom.
No.
I'm so
Ness? Oh, she's gone again. I don't know what's going on there, people. Technical difficulties. But we are going to have to put this to the vote then. Semi-final 1 against semi-final 2. Stuart, I hope you've got the scorecard ready and waiting for us.
Semi-final 1, Tom.
So, yeah, you need to do the whole kind of thing with the...
right. Excuse me, I'm back.
Oh! Hey, Ness.
Hello.
Yeah.
Ness.
No, she's not.
I don't know
Kick
what's
her
going
out,
on.
Tom. Kick her out.
No.
Oh, she's gone. Sure.
Right,
Oh, she kicked
Stuart,
herself out.
you can keep the score for us. But Elliot, semi-final 1 or semi-final 2?
As much as I love the Metronome Pogo Lady and the Pips the Power Ranger at semi-final 2.
Okay, Joe, semi-final 1, semi-final 2.
If Victor was in 2, it'd be perfect 2 for me.
Okay, Lou, 1 or 2?
2.
Martin?
So everyone from outside of the UK and Ireland would do 2. Which annoys me like mad. Yeah.
And Stuart, semi-final 1 or semi-final 2?
Oh, I've already voted. That's
Oh, you've already voted.
F1. That's me.
Well, and what's the chat room saying?
Semi-final 2. What's Tristan's view?
I don't know.
He's
We'll
not
have
watched
to-
them, has
The thing
He's
is,
not
Tristan
watched
hasn't
them.
watched the rehearsals.
Okay, fair enough. So
Tristan will be joining us
4-1
in a
or
minute.
5-1 if you want to include the chat room. So I've lost, basically.
So you have,
Yeah.
because I'll be honest, I would vote for semi-final 2 on
But can I just
principle.
make a point? I kind of feel like Lou let me down a bit there because she was edging towards semi-final 1 and she just voted semi-final 2. Lou, you've really upset me with this. I kind of felt you were on my camp there for a bit. But okay, there you go. And she's
Okay.
muted herself.
Oh,
Sorry, you had to listen to my point though. If we were talking halves, I would have gone for that second half of semi 1. But
I got you.
overall, I'm going semi 2.
I
And
got
next, would you have
Okay.
voted for
5-1.
semi-1 or semi-2?
Who? Me?
Yeah,
Yeah, semi 2.
There you
semi-2.
go.
Because I do
6-1.
think there's also a standard of music that has to be kept up here, not just a Mickey-taking show that the Eurovision can sometimes become.
And I will have
It's a
to,
hard-working
say that my vote goes to semi-final 2 on principle, because semi-final 2 doesn't have Iceland in it. And quite frankly, Hatari, I'm sorry for those people that love it and everything like that. I've listened to it so many times. I have tried people to love where hatred will prevail. And quite frankly, hatred has prevailed. And I just don't get it. But we move on.
oh, Tom, that's fine. Rodney's not here. You're fine.
I'm just thinking of the train journey they've got on the way up to Manchester next Saturday. If they all get through.
It's all right. He's going to be wearing a T-shirt that says "Hatred will prevail," and I'm going to be wearing one that says "Too late for love." So it probably makes sense. Let's move on to Duel 2. Now, let's concentrate our efforts on one singular area, and we're looking at Best of the Baltic. We're taking the Baltic as Estonia, obviously Victor Krone with Storm. We've got Lithuania, Run with the Lions, or if you've been listening to the panel this evening, 8 by Lions. And we've got Latvia going around a carousel on that night. And we're going to take the opportunity to say a very good evening to Tristan.
Hello there, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Now, obviously, although people may have seen you, obviously we weren't ignoring the lovely Tristan, but Tristan hasn't watched any of the rehearsals. He's keeping it as a big surprise. So we're bringing him in for the duels. And Tristan, what are we thinking? Out of the Baltic songs, what song comes on top for you this year?
Well, personally, on top, it's Latvia. I just love I love that bluesy, jazzy sort of sound. I've also heard some really nice versions of it online that they've done. I love that song. It's I've got it sort of not that far out of my top 10 overall, but I think it'd likely come worst of the 3 on the night. I think Estonia will probably do best of the 3. But Latvia is my favourite of the 3, and I think probably Latvia will end up doing worst of the 3. So my favourites do not tally with what I think will happen on the night.
So what we're saying is you are the kiss of death to any potential winner.
Yeah, I don't think Latvia will qualify, which will be a real shame, and I think Estonia will, which for me is a real shame, but only because it means that other ones which I prefer won't qualify.
Do you know what? That final comment means I have to go straight across to Joe. Best of the Baltic, Joe.
Let me see. Victor all the way. He's the victor. Yeah, I love it. I think he's going to do the staging we were discussing in London, and he's going to be amazing, and he's going to get top well, he's going to be top 10. He's going to qualify by a country mile, and I reckon top 5 even. You know, the more I listen to him, the more I love him.
Well, I'll be honest. It's a good song. It is a very good song.
Great song. He's a good singer. He's getting better and better, and he's got that charm that, you know, that audience is going to love.
Now, I'm feeling love for Victor. I'm feeling love for Carousel. What about Jerzy with Run with Lions? Any love for Lithuania in the?
I mean, he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. I'm not a massive fan of the song, but he's a lovely guy.
Elliot,
isn't it funny how what a difference a year makes? If you think back to last year's Eurovision, Lithuania sent a quite brilliant song from Yaiva.
Yeah.
And do you know, I watched that the other day. That's the only song in the last 5 years that actually makes me cry. I started welling up listening again, and then a year later they send something that's so totally different. You know, it just shows you that you can have 1 year be really successful, the next year choose something which, you know, perhaps you're not going to be as successful. You know, and I don't know what happened in Lithuania this year, but I think it's good, but I think given the pack, I don't think it's strong enough.
Another lion-related thing. You
picked up on that. Excellent.
Will there be
Can they have pride in their entry?
Yeah,
We do.
Elliot, I can see you're loving the puns. What is your take on the Baltic entries?
It's very telling that you say about 1 year they're great, the other they're bad, because I honestly feel like we could have a complete Baltic washout in the semi-final. I don't see any qualifying, to be honest, even Victor, because I really just cannot get on board with Storm. Sorry, Joe. They're all good in their own right, but they all have massive weaknesses as well. And I think that's where we're going to kind of come undone. And Estonia's biggest weakness is they don't have the UK, Ireland, or Malta, or Sweden voting for them in the semi-final, which is where his sort of song is very popular. So I'm just not sure where the votes are going to come from. Julius, lovely guy. Song is just good singer, but the song is just, and staging is just nothing special. And Carousel, again, they're lovely. The song is very sweet, but it just doesn't change after the first minute, and you find yourself sort of like drifting out of it. It sometimes becomes a bit background music. I mean, it's lovely, and it's very waltzy and very dreamlike, and her voice is great, but to be like Tristan, I just think it's just going to fall shy, which would be a shame, because it is nice to have that sort of like calming moment in the final, but I just don't think it's going to happen. But out of the three, I'm not sure.
I was going to say you're doing a very good job of talking yourself out of voting for any of these, but you are going to have to actually vote in this.
I know, this is the annoying thing. I'm more annoyed at Estonia because they had some very good songs in SD Lau, and last year they sent La Forza, which I loved and was my winner, and this year they've just picked a generic Swedish pop song. So I think I'm going to have to go with Lithuania on the vocals because he does sing it very well.
Okay, well we will come back to you. You can change your mind. Okay, we know you were really rooting for Vozinzi Katzen in the Estonian.
That was brilliant.
Which, I mean, come on, everyone would have had a field day if that had actually been selected. Let's go across to next.
I've got a cake to bake. I got no clue at all. I got a cake to bake. And before, yeah, I missed that song. That was so cool, and that's what I think. Yeah, echoing Elliot's thoughts is they're all very middle of the road, kind of mainstream, apart from Carousel maybe. But if I had to go with one as a simple-minded person, I would go with Estonia, and the reason is because it's so catchy, and you will get that tune straight away, and it will stay in somebody's head for at least 20 minutes until voting or whatever. So yeah, no disrespect to the other songs because they're good, but not Lithuania. I do like it though. Yeah. Sorry, I was just bringing that into my head now, as well as Cake to Bake, and thinking could we do a mashup of the two. But yeah.
I don't know. The 18th could be very interesting if you're on the same train as myself and Rodders on the way up to Manchester. It could be. I think you're on a slightly early one.
You're going direct. Ours stops at Milton Keynes.
Ah.
Sorry, we'll be chasing you.
No, I think we're chasing you, actually. I think,
Oh, are you?
as it goes, yeah. We're just giving you a head start. Lou, Best of the Baltic.
Lesser of three evils. Sorry.
I mean, that's
I'm
the
sorry.
polite. That's the polite way of what I was trying to say.
Yeah. I'm kind of I'm inclined to agree with a lot of what Elliot said. Latvia Linear is a nice song. Doesn't go anywhere. Love, where are you? For 3 minutes, like I don't know where he is. Use Google Maps. I don't know. Lithuania, Run with the Lines. Like, if you're gonna write a song about lines, like, can you give me like Circle of Life vibes? Can you give me like, I don't know, just something more interesting? Like, it's a really sweet song, and he's a sweet guy, but like, you know, that's kind of it. They should have chosen Night On, but anyway. So I'm gonna go for Estonia. I'm gonna go Team Joe here. I do like the song. I would stream it in my spare time. And it could have some kind of middle of the road appeal with a bit of televote pull, but even still, you know, it's a lackluster vote from me, if I'm honest.
Okay, well,
Sorry.
that was damning with faint praise there, I think. Let's go across to Martin. Battle of the Baltic. Come on, Martin, give us something to cheer about out of these three songs.
Latvia is just music, or the background that you'd have in a very posh restaurant that you just eat and just it's there, but you wouldn't notice. Lithuania, I mean, he's got a great voice, but looking at the staging, it's a bit basic. I mean, it's almost sort of like the lights that France had for Sweden, but without the words and the interest. If I was going to go for the three, it'd be Estonia, and it is catchy. I know they had problems with their first rehearsal. Apparently, only one crew went right. They are going to have the storm effect, apparently, that they had in the national final, and it is catchy. And I think I've seen comments by a lot of the pundits and the news people that said that he's got the best camera craft of most of the acts there this year. So I think he's going to connect with people in the televote. He didn't get a very good jury vote in Estonia. I think he's going to have to rely on the televote, but I think he'll get enough to get through to the final anyway.
Okay, and finally, let's go across to Stuart. Now, Stuart, what's the vibe in the chat room? Best of the Baltic.
So they've got a lot of love for the Baltics in the chat room, unfortunately. Latvia would be my pick of the three. I think the audience will pick Estonia. I think Estonia will be a song that everyone is singing in the hall over in Tel Aviv. And I think there'll be some cheers when it comes up, because it's got that kind of Swedish House Mafia style to it. I just think when it kicks in, it bang, the audience will get behind it. But I really like Latvia this year. There's something quite sweet about it, and it's my type of genre, a bit like Slovenia as well. I like the two together. But yeah, Estonia, no doubt in my mind, will do better.
Okay, so guys, we need to put this to the vote. Stuart, obviously there's three songs to vote for, so you need to try and operate your scoreboard with your two hands, kind of like,
Something else.
And something else. I don't know, if you want to use eyes, maybe shut an eye, stick a tongue out, or something. It's entirely up to you. Okay, I deliberately picked three songs. So we'll go straight to the vote. Elliot, may I have your vote, please?
Lithuania.
Joe.
Estonia.
Lou.
Estonia.
Martin.
Estonia from me as well.
Tristan.
Latvia for me.
Ness.
Estonia.
Stuart, what's the scores on the doors?
Oh, sorry, Tom, I wasn't actually paying attention. Latvia. Latvia's won it.
No.
It was 4-1 each to the others, I think.
I think you're finding it was 5 to Estonia, because I'm voting for Estonia as well.
I'm pretty sure Latvia won that one.
So, hashtag no. But obviously, we wish all the Baltic states all the best. Now, the third duel of the night. It's a bit self-indulgent, I'll be honest, because there's two really good ballads in this contest that I feel have been overlooked. Two that I think have the potential to actually come a lot higher than people are saying, and therefore our third duel of the night is North Macedonia versus Moldova. It's the song Proud against the song Stay. Both very, very, very interesting songs. Both in semi-final 2 as well. Lots of potential there. Let's go straight across to Lou. What are you thinking when it comes to these two songs?
Everybody's going to think I'm really negative after this. What do I think of the two songs? Can I give my pick, or will I just discuss them?
You can give your pick and reasons for your pick.
Okay. I think my pick out of those two would be North Macedonia. The staging looks interesting. The song itself is very powerful. Her voice is incredible. There's no doubt that she's a talent. I'm not sure, am I slightly biased as a Euro fan, just in the fact that 2017 and 2018 I adored North Macedonia's songs. So I think I don't like this one quite as much. So I might be a little bit bitter if this qualifies and the last two didn't. However, I can try and put that aside and see that this in its own right is a good song. If it does qualify, it would be a deserved qualifier. As for Moldova, very interesting staging. Is it sand or snow that they've brought along on the LED? It's snow, isn't it?
It's supposedly snow, but some people might say it's a sand artist.
Because Ukraine invented sand, apparently. So I don't know, is that like because I think there's no doubt that the artist from Moldova is super talented, like her voice is insane, but the song, it just lacks any oomph for me. There's no hook. I couldn't even sing you one part from the song right now. So I think any attention it does draw will be from all the sand going on in the background a la Ukraine 2011.
Okay, so a bit of distraction going on there. Martin, what do you think? It's admittedly, I think this is probably a tough duel.
Not really vocally for me. It's North Macedonia all the way. Tamara is a great singer. She's got great presence. And from talking to people who are linked with the North Macedonian delegation and even IQ, they all think this is their best chance ever of doing well at Eurovision because of Tamara, because they think she's an absolute star. And she, from the bit I saw the rehearsal, she just owned the stage. She didn't need those mirrors behind her. She just controlled everything. Moldova, Anna's got a good voice, and I'm really intrigued to see what the sand per artist does, because I think that's going to look really great when we see the full show behind it. But it's not going to do enough to actually push her through to the final, I don't think. But I'm getting more and more sense that Tamara will make it for North Macedonia, and that's obviously a big deal for them.
Okay, let's move through to Tristan. Tristan, obviously, you were the one that went for Latvia in the Best of Baltic. Are you going off the beaten track with the crowd this time round?
No. This time I've had North Macedonia in my top 10 since I first heard it. On that amazing day where we had North Macedonia and Austria, and lots of songs were chosen and released that day, and I actually love North Macedonia. It's in my 7th place, and it hasn't moved to my 7th place since I heard it. It's really powerful. It appeals. It appeals to everyone. I actually asked my mum in Spain to listen. She listened to all the songs, and gave me her top, and her top was North Macedonia as well. And she's probably more of an average type audience of the Eurovision Song Contest than us Eurofans who watched them so many times and they're very passionate about it. She'd be an average viewer who watches it just once only. Absolutely loved it. She asked me to put some money on it. What I am surprised about is that the odds haven't changed, because I got 80 to 1 when I put the bet on over the weekend, and after the rehearsals it's still 80 to 1. It's still the best you can get. So I would have thought that after hearing I haven't seen any rehearsals, but after hearing all the positive stuff about it, I would have thought it would have done an Azerbaijan and gone up the betting tables. But doesn't. It seems to have stagnated at 80-1. That's the best you can get.
There's
I love
still
it.
time for
I
that to change, though.
Yeah, there is time. I don't mind a Moldovan song, but it doesn't really do very much for me. Like Lou, I've been a massive Macedonia fan for the last 2 years. They were amongst my favourites. I just loved that Dance Alone. That's fantastic.
Robbed.
Yeah, robbed, absolutely.
Okay, let's move on to Joe.
I am agreeing very much so with the panel. I mean, I do love Moldova's song. I didn't think the performance she sang it as well, certainly. I just think tomorrow in North Macedonia, they just absolutely, she was amazing. Like the power in her voice in the rehearsal was just absolutely fantastic. And I think she's going to put on a show, and I do honestly think she's going to qualify, just simply because of the vocals are going to come through, and the jury's going to love her. The juries are absolutely going to love her. So yeah, North Macedonia for me.
Okay. Do you know what? I'm going to have to fire this out to the panel. Is there any love for Moldova in the room?
Yes.
Oh, Stuart.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a lone wolf again. But yeah, I'm loving Moldova this year. Absolutely loving it.
No,
I'm
you're not,
loving this.
Stuart. I think Moldova might be a bit of a dark horse, actually.
Yeah, I
I
think
think she might pull it out the bag.
yeah, it builds nicely, and she's a great singer. The staging's going to be excellent by the sound of things. It worked for was it Olivia Newton-John in 2011?
What do you know? What my fear is? It will be a bit like was it Claudia Finelli or whatever? No, it was Breathlessly, was it?
Yeah.
I worry that Stay will go the same way, and that's a shame because I think there's beauty in that song. So I'm going to go Moldova, partly because I can't keep up with how many different names Macedonia has each year. So it might be Central Macedonia next year. It's too confusing. So
See, I think the thing that Moldova has going for it, tactically speaking, is the fact that, and no offence, Lou, it's surrounded by Ireland on one side and Switzerland on the other. And I think
no, it's not. What, your geography is terrible, Tom.
No, in the final. We're talking about running order, my lovely. Yeah, if you've got Ireland beforehand, you've got Switzerland afterwards, and I think you get the contrast there. Whereas with North Macedonia, you've got the Netherlands on one side and you've got Azerbaijan on the other. And whilst I think North Macedonia's got the stronger song, I do wonder if Tamara will find herself slightly lost on that. And I can see Stuart's just like, he's gone into deep concentration. Have you got a football result, Stuart?
Fuck's sake.
No, he's trying to get the map up in his head.
No, he's got a football result. Because fans of ESC Fan TV, I know this is strictly off topic here, but Stuart supports a little team known as Arsenal, and Arsenal's biggest dislike in the world is a Tottenham Hotspur fan, and Tottenham went into the Champions League semi-final tonight, losing against Ajax, and have done a Liverpool. Oh dear!
I'm sure Tristan's just as delighted being a Palace fan.
So is it Spurs Liverpool? Is it?
Spurs Liverpool. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Can we get back to Eurovision, please?
And we're gonna move ourselves back to Eurovision. We're gonna take a vote from the panel. Elliot, North Macedonia or Moldova? Cast your vote now.
North Macedonia, because the Moldovan song is dirge. I mean, I can't listen to it. So simple as.
Okay, Joe.
Yeah, I love the Moldovan song. I really do. But I think North Macedonia wins this one for me.
Lou.
North Macedonia.
Martin.
Yeah, same again. North Macedonia.
Tristan.
North Macedonia.
Ness.
Moldova.
And Stuart, what's the chat room saying?
North Macedonia, but I'm going to go for Moldova. But actually, I think the two are quite similar, and yeah, could go either way. But I've got to pick one, Moldova.
True. So we have a winner, and it's North Macedonia. We've got 2 more duels to go, people. So the fourth duel, Now the smoke and mirrors have been lifted. It's Norway versus the beast from the east, Russia. It's a sleeping giant. And they've got Sergei Lavrov back in the frame. Let's go straight in with the corny puns. I'm going straight across to Elliot. Does Russia leave you screaming for more?
No, it leaves me screaming, turn it off. I'm sorry, like I've gone rants about this several times beforehand in different concepts. This song is so cheesy musical theatre, it hurts. And do I really want nice Sergei Lazarev looking demure and like drought, like looking like in this like no. The staging is so many rip-offs of different other ideas we've seen in Eurovision and national finals. And Philip Kirkorov has just done this thing of, I have a boring song. Here's a box. Like, at least with Kano, or Kano as they've been saying it, you can jump about, you can sing along, you can have fun with it. With Russia, it's just a downer for 3 minutes. It's just him, for lack of a better word, being quite narcissistic and whingy.
Okay.
So, not a fan at all.
I'm going to have to throw this out to you. What about the idea that's been circulating around social media that the Russian entry could actually be used as a metaphor against the Russian treatment of certain sections of society?
If that is what they're doing, then I applaud them for doing it in a sneaky way under their nose. Do I think that's what they're doing? No, to be honest. I think that's Russia, to be honest, saying anything and everything to try and get people to vote for them. Because if you remember in 2016, Sergei got asked a lot of questions in the press conference about, is it safe for people to go to Russia if they win? And he was saying, oh yes, there's lots of safe places, blah, blah, blah. It's not as bad as you think in the media, blah, blah, blah. It is as bad as it is shown in the media. Let's not ignore that. I'm not saying that's why you shouldn't vote for Russia. If you like the song, vote for it by all means and vote for Sergei. His voice is great. It's just too cheesy and just too amateur theatre for me, to be honest. And if I want to see, it's the song at the end of the second act where everything's gone a bit wrong before the rousing climax and the happy moment in the third act, basically. Scream. Whereas Kino is like the closing song where everything's gone right, all the ties have been sorted out, and you're having a good fun at the end. And Kino are great, and yeah.
Okay, right. Let's go across to Ness. Ness, what are we thinking?
Well, I tried to bring up some of those thoughts, echoing Elliot's thoughts with Andrew on the call the other night, didn't I? I was shot down in flames. What's wrong with musical theatre? It is, I think Russia's slightly displaced in terms of the lineup for the other 40 songs. But actually it has grown on me quite a lot, which I don't know why. But the is really growing on me too. So I think I'm going with Norway.
Okay.
Yeah, just for that weird bloke who sounds like a didgeridoo, basically.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go across to Tristan. We're not talking about Norway or Russia.
I'm not a big fan of either, but my preferred song would be Norway, simply because it's fun, upbeat. I never liked the fact that it reminded me so much of Monsters from last year, and that's probably why I vote it quite negatively. But if I forget about that one issue, it's actually a really fun song. And I was listening last night to the dance remix, an extended dance remix that I found on Spotify, and it's fantastic. If only they could have a minute longer on the stage and have that instead, because that is just joy. Russia song is I think Russia will probably do a lot better, as everyone else thinks, if the betting is anything to go by, because it's Russia. But yes, it's just a bit of a dirge, really. Well, I'm sure the staging is going to be fantastic. I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just move to my lone wolf, my co-host, Stuart. Everyone's going for Norway. Is it Russia?
Yeah, it is. Well, 100% Russia. I don't get the Norway vibes from people. I really don't. Yeah, okay, it's a banger. It's plenty of bangers. Is it going to qualify? Not a chance. Russia all the way.
Oh, you heard it here first, guys. Well, I'll tell you what, Stuart, I'm going to put your views to the vote here because time is marching on, and we've got one more duel to go. So we're going to go bounce our way straight into the vote with this. Let's ask the panel. Elliot, cast your vote, please.
Norway.
Joe.
Absolutely 100% Norway.
Lou.
Norway.
Martin.
Yes, probably. Well, I'd be going for Norway anyway.
Tristan. Norway or Russia?
Norway
Cast your
for
vote.
me.
Ness.
I know, Norway.
Norway.
You can't vote more than once, Tristan. Stuart.
At Russia. So I'm on my own again.
You're
Yeah.
not Stuart
Yeah.
because I'm going to be honest with you. I myself am voting with Russia this time as well.
6-2. I can't obviously add another finger. 6-2.
6-2. Okay, there we go. Duel 4 done and dusted. Right, final duel. This is the duel we've all been waiting for.
Boom.
It's
Come
John
on.
Ludwig versus John Ludwig. It's Sweden versus the United Kingdom. Which one's better? We're going to put patriotism to the test here, given the fact that most of our panelists are from the United Kingdom. We're going to go straight across to the one unbiased, potentially, person on this panel this evening. We're going
Me!
straight across to our Irish neighbours. Notice this, Irish neighbours. It's Lou.
Yay! Diversity. Oh, I really like both of them. It's no huge surprise that they were both written by one of the same writers. That Jan Ludwig was involved in both. Did he choose the right song? Potentially, yes. Is the Swedish act more polished and much more production pumped in from the Melfest machine? Yes. Does the UK song and performer have more soul? Yes, I think so. I just love Michael Rice. There's something really special about him. He's such a dote. He performs that song. He doesn't sing it. He performs it. His vocal runs at the end are insane. I'm really hoping that the staging is good and not too similar to Sweden's. It's neck and neck for me. I think I would go with my neighbours over in the UK for this one.
Ah, you can come on here again. That's your slot secured.
Yay!
Obviously, the UK has been keeping its staging very close to its chest. Are we going to see Michael Rice on a giant stapler? We'll find out when they have their rehearsal on Friday. We're going to have to go across to our John Ludwig admirer in the room. Ness, UK or Sweden?
God, this is hard because I had a dream last night that the UK won. Seriously.
For the BBC, that was, probably a real...
I don't know. It's really strange because I've watched some of the rehearsals. You know, the one where he's sitting to the side of the piano with the backing singers, the acoustic version, as it were. And I just think, I don't know, I actually maybe prefer Bigger Than Us now. That's really bad because obviously I've betrothed myself to John, but I don't know. Maybe it's the connection to both songs, but yeah, I'm actually going to go UK. Don't tell John though.
You know what? It's not like this is going over on YouTube or anything. It's not like it's being broadcast to everyone. It's fine. Your secret is safe with us.
Thanks.
Martin, Sweden or UK?
One of these is my number 2, and one of these is my number 20. Now, I'm hoping that they both get drawn in the separate halves of the draw, because if they're both in the same halves of the final, because Sweden's obviously going to qualify, then they're going to have to stick one in the middle of the running order and one at whatever end. One of them is far better for me, slicker, sounds better, got better backing singers, lighting, staging, I know, and it's all set up and probably a winner. Sweden's my number 2. UK's my number 20. I think Michael Rice will do better than most of our recent entries, possibly bar Lucy Jones, but Sweden for me by a long way.
Martin, you're going to Tel Aviv, aren't you?
Yep, and I'm going to be supporting Australia, but there you go. Not Sweden, but if I could see Sweden winning, like most people could see Sweden winning this year.
Very true. Joe, Sweden or UK?
This is the worst duel. It's so difficult because they're both in my top 10. I love them equally. I love both singers equally. Just slightly Sweden, I think. Only because they're slicker, and to me, I get the song a little bit more. I sing a little bit more. If I'm looking at the one that I'm actually walking around singing in my head, more slightly Sweden, although not today. Today it was bigger than us for some reason. So I'm only just, but it is literally 49-51.
Well, the thing is, you can only vote for one, Joe.
I know.
Thing.
It's definitely Sweden. It is Sweden. Only just.
Okay, right. I'm going to take the views of Stuart in the chat room before we put this one to the vote.
So the chat room's gone pretty quiet. I think all of our European guests may be headed towards their bedtime. But, yeah, from my perspective, I don't see a lot of difference in the two songs at all. And that's no surprise. As we've said, they're written by the same person, people. But I do think it's really clear that John Ludwig is a very competent, confident performer. And our guy in the UK, Michael, is just starting out in his career, and that shows. And they've both got fantastic voices. But I think that might be the difference in the Eurovision final. And I'd like to think the UK could get out of the bottom 20, but I'm fearful we may not. However, what do I prefer? Actually, I now prefer Bigger Than Us, to be perfectly honest. I think Bigger Than Us is probably the better song, but I do think Sweden will end up somewhere in the top 5 anyway. So, that's the way.
Don't forget, Stuart, to get that Israeli SIM card. So, now, obviously, I would not advocate that at all. But I want to put this to a panel vote because time is marching on. So, Ness, who are you voting for, Sweden or UK?
Oh God. No, I've got to go Sweden now. No, Sweden. Oh God, no, UK. No, Sweden.
Yes,
UK.
you've said Sweden. We're taking Sweden. Tristan.
I'm not a huge fan of either of them, but I'd go for UK.
Okay. Martin.
Be Sweden for me, unfortunately.
Lou.
My love for one is bigger. The UK.
Joe.
Oh, only just Sweden.
Elliot.
On the basis that one act can perform this on his own and one really needs backing singers to elevate this on stage, I'm going with the United Kingdom.
Stuart.
Well, I'm going to the UK, 4-3. Wow.
And I'm going to be showing patriotism, I'll be honest. And I'm going UK.
In that case, I'm going Sweden. It's a draw.
Oh, yeah, you can't do that. You casted your vote. That's the rules. You casted it. Even though I have got a T-shirt that says Bigger Than Us, and I will be voting for Sweden because obviously I can't vote for the UK. And that's what I told John Ludwig when I met him at LEP as well. And I got a selfie out of it.
Yay!
Anyway, enough of that. Guys, as we draw this show to a close and we move not just from Eurovision open season to actual Eurovision, this is it. This time next week, we are back. Normal time, 9 p.m. We are going to be reviewing semi-final 1, the performances the qualifiers. You never know, Stuart may have pulled himself away from a beach bar and actually be joining us via video link from a press centre in Tel Aviv, as maybe Martin as well.
Not a chance.
Well,
I'll be in the
what you
bar.
mean.
I'll be in the bar.
and the rest of the panel, I'd like to just... What was that, Tristan?
I'll be watching Winnie Pooh perform live at the Scala against loads of other acts at something called Euronoise.
Ah, see, that's, you know, that I can take, but you know, the rest, you know, the words loyalty, you know. Anyway, yeah, guys, we have a fantastic run of shows lined up for you next week. Wednesday night, we're here looking at semi-final 1, looking at the qualifiers of semi-final 1. Friday night, we're here. We're going to be looking at, obviously, the semi-final 2, the qualifiers of semi-final 2, and obviously by that time, we will have the running order for the grand final of the 2019 Eurovision Song Contest grand final. And if that wasn't enough, Stuart's going to step straight off of a plane and into a live show on Sunday. That's Sunday the 19th of May. And we're going to be here reviewing the whole thing before we all get the streamers out for our end of season party on Friday the 24th of May. We've got 4 fantastic shows coming up for you. In the meantime, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, comment, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram. Don't forget also, you can listen to us on the way to work, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, not Snitcher. And also, you can catch up with us on YouTube as well. I'm back here on Wednesday. Stuart's in Tel Aviv. We'll let that one go. But I would like to say a massive thank you to my panel this evening. Thank you to Elliot.
Thank you, guys. Vote for Malta in the final, please. We need them back in there. There, that's my bit.
Thanks to Joe.
Bye, everyone. See you next Wednesday, because I'm not going to Tel Aviv. There you go.
Thanks to Lou.
Goodbye. Vote Ireland.
Thanks to Martin.
Thank you. See everybody. Maybe, don't know. I might be in the press centre that night. He'll be in the bar.
Thanks to Tristan.
Bye, and vote for Denmark, please.
Thanks to Ness.
Bye. Vote San Marino. Oh, yeah.
Can't. We're in the UK. And finally, but by no means least, thank you to my lovely co-host Stuart, who is actually going to be doing some reporting from Tel Aviv for us throughout Eurovision week. Do look out for him. He's going to be there with the tripod. He's going to be there ready to film your reactions. Stuart.
Yeah, I will be hunting people down at Eurovillage, Tom. Come and see me. I will be asking you for your opinions. I will get you on cam, and we're going to have lots and lots of fun. You'll see us. We're ESC Fan TV, of course, with lovely new ESC Fan TV vests, especially for the 35-degree heat. Can't wait, Tom.
Fantastic. So, look out for Stuart's videos. They're going to be on YouTube next week. If you're in Israel, don't forget, if you see Stuart with a camera in his hand, you too could be on ESC Fan TV. In the meantime, the rest of us, well, hopefully some of us will see you next week, same time, same place. And until then, bye-bye. Happy Eurovision.
Bye.